often we don't feel it, but it is possible to get everything that you want. Dr. Nick joins us this morning with some great steps to get us there.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we feel like we're not motivated,
Yes.
right? Like I want to get that next position in my company, or I want to lose 10 pounds. And you go, but I'm not really motivated.
Yeah.
And you say we're approaching it wrong.
Well, you know, Whitney, what I found interesting about the research that we're coming out of today is it's almost sometimes the opposite of what we think is the right way is actually the right way. Okay. So in other words, take motivation. Someone will say to me, oh, how do I get motivated? How do I get motivated? And this guy was theorizing, suggesting, recommending that it's not about motivation all the time, or even something. It's about commitment.
Okay.
If I'm so if somebody says to me, how do I get motivated? I say, no, the question is, are you committed? How do I get motivated to get up earlier? Are you committed to getting up earlier? Meaning, do you want to get up earlier?
And if you don't even try.
And if if you're not going to commit yourself, because see, the commitment is before the event.
Yes.
Right? I don't wake up or sit there at 6:30 and say, oh, I'm committed, or I want to be committed. We've already made the commitment.
Mm-hmm. It's just following through.
It's following through. I think it's a great distinction.
Well, I think it would help your brain too. Like, oh, I'm not motivated to get up. You don't say that to yourself, because of course you're not motivated, but are you committed?
Let's take marriage for example.
Okay.
I think it's really important for people in marriage to sometimes say, you know, I'm really not motivated right now in this marriage. Whole lot of chaos in this house, or a whole lot of this or that. I'm just not really motivated. I'm committed. And there's something about commitment that says, this too shall pass. I'll get through this. Tomorrow's coming. It's not
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not necessarily in stone, but it's almost like saying that love is a decision. Wanting to live is a decision. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't. Maybe he's saying that you don't feel it all the time. Maybe that's the same thing.
And that's
we don't
true.
feel it. And
that's true. But I do think that it will certainly help the mind and help us get to where we want to be if we just go. It's a commitment.
Yeah.
I made this commitment. I'm going to follow through with it.
Yeah. And one of the things that he suggests, which I really like, because you know we always talk about setting small goals, setting reachable goals. He talks about that in terms of commitment. Instead of making this huge commitment to whatever.
Have the perfect marriage.
Right. Say, you know, I'm going to be nice to my wife for 15 minutes every day.
Or how about, I'm going to listen to her.
Or I'm going to listen to her for 15. Meaning that, oh, I did that. See, didn't you see?
Little victories.
Oh, little victories. Little victories.
I love it. And you say knowledge and results.
The thing there is, we need to be, pardon going to the word, motivated to learn instead of always get something. What did I learn from this mistake? What knowledge can I grasp? Where are my stretching zones? Am I reading? They talk about getting a mentor to help you take the contrarian view. Someone said the other day, no politics, someone said the other day, well, you know, the climate change complex is growing. And what he was suggesting that it's becoming its own economic system.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got a lot of climate change people that are getting paid. It made me think differently. I still don't think myself that scientists are doing it just for the money.
Right.
But do you see the contrarian view? You hear something that throws you and it says, oh, I need to think that through.
I heard something the other day.
I need to study that.
I need to study that. We should all study that and pay attention. Wherever you fall on it, we all need more knowledge. But I heard something the other day that shocked me too, that said, at its current pace, our economy will fall 10%
I did see that.
because of climate change. Wow, right? That made me stop and go, what?
I did. But
and I need to study it because I didn't understand it all.
But that, I think, is the key. We don't just take, oh, he said it or she said it. We really decide, I want to learn more about this issue.
You're right.
Now, I do think we have to be careful in that we don't have the capacity to learn about everything there is in the world.
True.
That's part of our problem, is that we live in a society where there's lots of knowledge. But we can certainly focus and say, I want to become more of an expert in this.
Right. Well, it's the same reason why we shouldn't either accept it immediately or dismiss it immediately.
Good point.
You know?
Good point, and which makes for a curious, questioning, almost doubtful mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now you say reprogram, work the mind.
Well, the reprogramming is so interesting, and I know you've heard me say it before. I never believed that old dogs can't learn new tricks. And we think that when people reach a certain age, mine, that I'm not changeable. And of course, the neuroplasticity, these neural pathways, all this research of the brain is saying that we can reprogram ourselves. We can think differently.
It's never too late.
It's never too late to put new messages and new tapes, because it's discipline. It's what I'm saying. And what's motivating about that to me is that if we've done something for 30 years, of course it's going to take time. Mm-hmm. So we rediscipline.
Absolutely.
We rediscipline. We start clearing our mind and maybe putting something else in there. The other thing that's important with that too is to say that we don't want to just say, I want to get rid of this bad thought.
Okay.
I want to what? Replace it.
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to another point, which you say is distractions. Because I think a lot of times we replace intention with distractions for, not intentionally, but there's just so many distractions.
Yeah, well, and what I would suggest to our viewing audience again is, it's really not enough to say, oh, I've just got all these distractions, I can't focus, I'm just so distracted. Name them. Mm. Write them down.
Okay.
What are the distractions? Be aware of what they are. And then you're in maybe a better position to say, okay, that's really not that. I'll look at the telephone and it'll say 8 messages.
Right.
Okay, but I'm really focused on something. I'm not going to go to that right now.
Right.
I have set up a time every day when I'm going to answer my messages, but it's not going to come when I see them.
Yes, and I'm so proud of you for doing that.
That to me is a good example. I want to.
Right.
It's sometimes maybe even easier than having to sit there and write the notes.
Right, right. Now the last one to achieve anything you want also is rely on self.
Yes. What do you think? You tell me what you think about that. I think it's tough. But I think it's true.
I think it's tough. I don't, and we're in this world with other people for other reasons. But at the end of the day, I can't rely on the mentor. I can't rely on my exercise buddy if I'm committed to run, or to walk 3 miles a day or whatever. I just got to go out there and do it, regardless. Is that it?
I think that's it. Let's say I call you at 2 a.m. because I can't see. Okay. Well, there's a chance that you're not going to be able to come at 2 a.m. because you're in Kentucky with your mother. I can't rely. I know that sounds like an easy one. It doesn't mean that we don't have people in our lives that we turn to.
Sure.
It's the reliance factor of, I'm so disappointed. I relied on you and you weren't there. It's not
at the end of the day.
Self-reliant. See, sometimes it gets a negative connotation because we're interconnected. All it's saying is, I can do this.
You're right. Thanks so much, Dr. Nick. More Weekends with Whitney after this.